Nikki D here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today we're doing something a little bit different than what I normally do. We're going to be reacting to some viral clip that just got released on August 12th. I don't know where I'm coming from with April. August 12th. I was just browsing up Reddit today, and this clip appeared. So if you're not aware of what I do on the channel, and if you are aware, doesn't matter, I'll give you a quick recap. I do a lot of online dating content, usually just as the, just a regular dude checking out Bumble, and I'll just give apps like reviews. Once in a while, if I have a horrible date, I'll just give some non-generic details about it. Obviously, I'm not going to say their name or anything, but I'll just say hey, I went to, I don't know, a golf place with this chick on the weekend and it didn't go well, etc. So I think I have a little standing on what's going on with the do's and don'ts of dating. Now, this video popped up, and it's a 3-part episode that was filmed on TikTok. We're going to watch all 3. Might just cut out into the interesting parts. I don't know how I'll do it. I don't really do react content, but I've been itching since this morning, since I saw it, to comment on it. So if you're not aware of what's going on, apparently this lady posts more of these, but I have not looked into it at all. I can't do that to myself. But I watched these 3 videos. The first one, it's basically just to kind of sum it up before we get into it. I don't want to give too much away, so we'll get into it. But yeah, she posts this on Twitter, I guess X, but formerly known as Twitter. I'll still call it Twitter. And it says, the dating pool is full of piss, and the poop emoji. That's why I'm just focused on my peace and businesses and my money. So without any further ado, and with that caption, let's get into it, and let's react to what was said here. So here we go.
Woo. Let me just get the door for you.
Okay.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car.
Okay, we gotta stop it there. So I'm already infuriated. Something I got when I got this channel monetized is I really went out of my way not to swear, and you don't know how badly I'm holding that in right now. So just to kind of break in some context here from what I've watched this a couple times in the other parts, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So don't know anything about if they've met online or anything, but obviously it's a first date between this guy and this lady, and he picked her up. Okay, he's picked her up from wherever she was, and presumably her home. He has driven her to a place called the Cheesecake Factory, which I guess is a chain, some kind of restaurant or an establishment. Anyway, you can actually see him, by the way, in my still where I paused it in the reflection of her shades, but you'll see him more in a minute. So it looks like she just started filming as she got up to the location, to obviously attempt to shame him, which I don't really understand. So in the part 2 of this, it becomes way more clear about what's going on, and it makes her even look even worse, to be quite honest. But anyway, yeah, so they pull in here. Like I said, she's already filming in the parking lot of the location. Now, I think it's audible there. He says he's gonna get the door for her, he'll be he's nice. So she's smiling, right? The moment he exits the vehicle, she just literally starts frowning and then just complains instantly about the location to the camera when he's not there, which I just thought was really rude. You wouldn't just have a private conversation with him. You don't need to be recording. You could literally just say, hey, I don't want to be at this location. It sounds like maybe this wasn't so much of a planned visit. And again, in part 2 and 3, they're only a minute long. In part 2 and 3, that becomes a lot more apparent of what the actual plan was, which was not this location. So it's going to get a lot worse. What really infuriated me, though, was he comes around and he's she's still sitting in the car. So he's just he's probably a little confused of what's going on, she would just come out of the car, and it sounds like he knocks or something because he's trying to get her attention. She actually puts her hand up and rolls down the window, she's actually staying in the car and rolls down the window to speak to him. Let's continue. I'm gonna pause it several times. So
Yes. Would you want me to open the door for you? Okay. You're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
Okay, gotta pause it again. So, I mean, unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to pause this every about 40 seconds or less because this is just ridiculous. So, like, you can just tell how awkward this interaction is. Obviously, this guy's never dealt with this before, like, where someone records an interaction on a date. Like, it's completely foreign to me. I would never do that. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. Even the way, like, she immediately answers to him in when he's talking to her, like, through the window, and she just sounds annoyed. Even that was just like, come on, mate. So you can see, like, she, like, takes the shades off, like, she's trying to show that she's got, like, wealth. That's how I interpret it, like, especially her caption about the businesses and her money, you know, and then playing with her hair and being like, oh, someone who looks like this. I'm just gonna completely call it like it is. I don't actually think she's that attractive, but that's just me. I'm sure other people do, but the way she's just behaving herself and acting, I think, like, your attractiveness just goes down. Yeah, I mean, sure, physically she looks nice, but I mean, the way she's behaving, I don't get that. And I've always hated that argument too, about, like, how the woman uses her time and money to look good, and then the guy doesn't. Like, again, from the videos, he's picked her up, and he actually had to wait for her, which we'll get into soon here, which just wastes more time. Like, I just don't understand. Like, he has to put effort into himself as well and use his time, and now he's dealing with this charade. But just the awkwardness where he, like, leans in and he's like, you're recording this? And she's just so, like, yeah, like, that's just so strange to me that, like, it's just like such a, like, an NPC conversation, you know, like in Oblivion. It's just two of them talking back and forth. Like, I don't blame him being very confused. And she's just not actually communicating properly about her displeasure with the location.
Want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Okay, so quick thought before we get to part two. Yeah, like, I think he's handled it pretty well so far. He just wants to talk about it. He doesn't even seem to care about the camera. That's way more lenient than I would be. I'd be like, just put the camera down and, like, talk like an adult, rather than making funny faces like this at the camera, which is just really immature. So yeah, obviously he has to get back into the car and is forced to have another conversation with this person. Now, I'm not 100% on what the part 2 is and what the part 3 is, but there is two more parts. So there's one where they're talking in the car. They're both back in the car talking, and I think this is the part 2. So again, let's dial it in and let's see what we have to listen to.
Wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well, look at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m., right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour, right?
But I wasn't.
Hold on. Okay. So something that just really, like, irks me here, and I mean, listen, if this was completely reversed and it was the guy being like a bag of crap, then I would be completely on her side. She's not even looking at him. Like, he's looking at her and talking to her. Like, he's, like, actually, like, he's looking at her and being like, hey, listen, like, you know, you were late, right? I told you the day before, and that has to be noted. Like, he literally told her the day before, that day as well, by the way, I'm going to be there for 4, right? Communicated that, which you should do. That's a fantastic thing to do. And the fact that she's not even, like, looking, like, she's just behaving like she's getting, like, lectured or something. I really like that he's standing his ground, where she's like he shows that he had a reservation. They had a reservation for, like, I don't know what time he said, but, like, they have a reservation for somewhere, which they've obviously missed. And I want to say, like, it makes him look bad because he called them, right? That's a table that they might have had for somebody else. I don't know, like, what the place is or how busy it is, right? But a lot of the times when you're calling ahead and making a reservation, there might be another table that could have used those 2 seats, right? That wanted that. Another couple could have took that table. So they potentially lost business, right? Because they were holding that table. Now, I'm sure they're only going to hold it for like 15 minutes and they'll just give it out to someone else. But it just makes you look bad, right? That you're like, wow, I no-showed on a reservation, right? That's how how it would be interpreted. Obviously, she accepts that. She's like, oh, that place looks fine. So I'm not sure if it was communicated that was going to be the place, but he obviously had a place that she would be fine with, and the fact that he showed up and she was an hour late, I would have left after 15 minutes. I don't do that kind of thing. I don't pick people up on a first date. I don't want to drive home on a first date from someone. That's just how I am. I mean, I want to know somebody. But if you're going to do something like this, yeah, you want to be very clear. And I think he was. He was very clear in his communication. And he said 4 o'clock that he was going to be there and pick her up. I would have left at 4:15. And there's really no way around it. I would have just completely walked out the door or just drove away. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know she comes back in a second with like kind of an excuse, but I really wanted to pinpoint how I just absolutely hate how she just can't even like look at him in the conversation. She's just focused on her camera, which is just I don't like it.
Expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late.
Wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, that's just gonna reply. Okay, yeah. So she's saying about work and she got home a little late, whatever. Like, it doesn't even sound like she communicated anything to him. And if she did, she's not making it very clear that she did. All right, so I think this is the final part here.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh no, he didn't.
Okay, quick one. I'll be quick. I do think it's really funny, her reaction, like her face, where like she's all surprised. And I really like this guy just called a spade a spade. He just called it out. He's not going to drag it through the mud. He's not going to, get on his knees and try to figure it out. Like she literally tries to, I think in this part, this is the last one, she tries to like get them to come around. It's like, okay, can we negotiate? Can we work on this? And he's like, no. Like, I like that. He sticks to his guns, and he's like, you know what? No. Like, if we're already this bad off, like, he probably just wants to get out of there. Like, I could not envision a more uncomfortable scenario to be in. Like, maybe being waterboarded. But, like, other than that, this is the most uncomfortable situation to be in. And, like, again, like, the expression, like, she makes, like, the expression she makes throughout this video, I don't know what she was hoping to do, but she's made herself, like, extremely unlikable. And huge props to the guy. He's handled this amazing. I would not have driven her home, bro. I would have been like, yeah, well, hey, there you go. And I would have got her right out of the car.
Yeah, I'm up.
So you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all.
He just pulled out of the parking space.
If I don't feel respected, I am not gonna go through with the rest of the day.
Well,
okay. Again, yeah, just how he's saying, like, he doesn't feel respected, so he's not gonna go through with it. Sorry. And her comment to all of that was, "Can you believe this, ladies?" As looking at the camera, I really want to believe this is just like an act. It's a skit. It's just a farce. This is not real. Like, maybe they are dating or friends and they're just making it up, because that would be the best outcome. Because, like, this is one of, in my opinion, the most immature ways to react to a date. Like, I would have saw that Cheesecake Factory, I would have been stoked. I would have been very happy. Like, if I went on a date with a girl and she, like, took me to a Cheesecake Factory, I'd be over the moon. I'd be happy, right? But, like, just to cope an attitude like this, I don't know, man. Okay, so not much more to say there. The rest of the video is her just saying she understands where he's coming from, playing with her hair, staring at the camera, trying to look good, which is not working. And he basically just reiterates the fact that he doesn't have a lot of rules, and she broke all of them. So he's just going to take her home. What an awkward drive home, eh? Like, how what do you even do? How do you even, like, what do you even say on the way home? You don't communicate. Hopefully, it was like a 5-minute drive, and he could just take her straight back. Yeah, all in all, man, there's just a lot of rules here, I think, that you don't do. A lot of things that you shouldn't do in this video that are very apparent to me. One of them has always been, yeah, you just don't pick people up on a first date. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you should get your own way there, because if situations like this arise, obviously not to this degree normally, but if a situation like this arises, you don't have to deal with the awkwardness. You can just be like, well, I'm good, and you can leave. You can just get in your car, take a breath, and drive away, right? Yeah, and again, I don't know what this woman was attempting to accomplish by posting this on TikTok. I think it was a really poor idea. Like, I think the video in question, the one I'm watching here on Twitter, has got like over 4 million views already, and that's just been like in a day or two, which is absolutely crazy. Again, I have no idea. I think she just wants like the infamy from it, which would make sense because obviously a lot of people are talking about it, and that's kind of where I feel like I should chime in because it's just kind of something I do a lot. I go on a lot of dates, not a lot of dates, I guess, but not a lot of bad dates. But I've never once in my life had a woman film at the date. I would just not engage. I would not bother. I would not entertain that idea. I think that's really weird. Like, just have a conversation, you know? Like, again, like the fact that she only looked at him like once or twice throughout that entire engagement just shows like, and again, like at the end of the video, she's like more just playing with her hair and staring at the camera and making like pouty faces when he's just explaining himself. And I think he was extremely reasonable. And in conclusion, on his part, yeah, he was he behaved a lot better than I think a lot of people would. I think she would be walking home big time after that. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't go harass her or anything, by the way. If you are watching, don't do any of that. Don't go find these people. Don't do that. I don't know what I'll do. Like, I know it normally has like the TikTok like logo on the bottom. I might just like zoom it in a little bit if it doesn't look awkward, or I might blur it. That might be the best way. I just don't want the person's name being on there. But yeah, I don't want to promote any of that. Don't do any of that. I just wanted to talk about it in general. So, all right, thanks for watching. See ya. Peace.